Congratulations. All right.
We live. They didn't hear none of that, but what's going on, guys? This is let me go ahead and turn these off. One thing I don't like about Streamlabs, about this is like they don't let you see like outsourced stuff until it's too late. If that makes sense, like it shows up in Streamlabs, it shows up in OBS as like a black background. Like if you have media on it, like you can't actually see it. There's probably a setting or something like that to turn it off, but I don't know about it yet. But what's going on? It's the Addict Show, once again returning, where we talk about the past, present, and future gaming. I'm your host, Addict, and there I got my co-host with me, Hustle and Motivate. What's going on, Hustle?
Man, not too much. It's good to be back. Boy, I'm tired. Did a live stream, not even like 20 minutes ago. I had fun. One of the topics that we probably won't cover, but we should cover, is the rumored Xbox Series X and PS5 Pro consoles, which was leaked by King's favorite TV brand, TCL. I feel like we got at least
that. Like, how do you come out there openly and put on a platform like that? We'll get into that. Yeah, we'll definitely talk about that. We'll probably talk about that first, hilarious. To be honest with you. And then we got 108 Dragon. What's going on, Dragon?
Sir.
What up, man? Last time we spoke was PAX East, brother. And thanks for having me. Hustle, my guy over here. I like y'all too. Your show is crazy.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Shout out to Tim last week too. He a funny guy.
Yeah. man was on one, wasn't he? Shout out to Tim though. You got it.
Yeah, so
his nickname should be Green Dog. Oh, that boy be promoting, boy. Let's get it.
We had me and 108. We actually went to PAX East. That was a very interesting event. You know, what's funny is I will never forget. We were at that place, and you guys got that food, and I will never forget how equally disgusted everyone was on that food we ate. Like, I've never seen people that disgusted with food in my life. But it was hilarious, and it was epic. So, obviously, as you guys can see, we got a pretty stacked show for you guys today. I'm very curious to see what we're going to talk about, man. We got PlayStation anti-consumer move, man. I'm sure some of you saw the crazy stuff they're doing with that, upgrading for a cheaper package. Upgrading in general looks like they might be making you pay the difference. We got Xbox turning down huge games, and we got Gamepass versus Kotaku, and we are going to sneak, like Hustle said, the mid-gen refreshers. We're going to go ahead and sneak that in the show too. So first thing, you guys know how it is. We're going to ask the guests what topic you want to start with. 108. What topic do you want to start this show with out of what I just said?
I'm gonna let you pick it. This is your show.
Oh, you're gonna let me pick? Okay.
I'm gonna let you pick it. Yeah, I'm gonna let you be the host with the most.
The host with the most. We're gonna go ahead and start with the Kotaku versus Game Pass thing. How many of you? I'm assuming both of you saw the tweet that was made with Kotaku, and then Game Pass clapped back at them. I find that very interesting. For those in the chat that don't know, Kotaku posted a article that was pretty much saying that the big AAA games in Game Pass is kind of like starting to well down, so people are maybe not necessarily seeing the value in Game Pass anymore. And what's funny is Game Pass actually, like the Twitter of Game Pass, like the official Xbox Game Pass Twitter, tweeted them and said, "Tell me you don't play indie games without telling me you don't play indie games." There's something related to that. I think they might have said AAA.
That's exactly what they said.
And I'm very curious on that. We're going to go ahead and start with 108 Dragon, our guest. Like, when you saw that, what was the first things that was going through your mind?
First thing I said is, about time y'all stand up for yourself. Stop letting everybody whip on you all the time, and you just go, "Hey, play games." It was good to see. First of all, let's talk about Kotaku's history with this game in general. They don't really talk facts. They'll get out there and make one of these crazy articles, and then everybody responds and acts crazy. But let's just be real here. They've been doing this for at least 15 years, 10 to 15 years, easily. And Kotaku, I don't even like going to Kotaku, but it was good to see Game Pass, the official Twitter feed, clap at them and say, yo, hold that. Because these dudes is crazy. Even with the whole, I'm cutting off my Game Pass. As soon as you do that, every DRM is going to kick in and all your games are going to stop working. That's what's going to happen. Dudes don't, that's not reality, man. And I think Kotaku need to be better, but they're never going to change. And the response that they're getting is the smoke that they want. We feeding right into it. You know what I'm saying? It's like they're professional trollers. That's what I thought about it, man. But it's good to see Microsoft, say something or, put them on the spot.
And to be fair, I don't even think they're that good of trolls. Like they're one of the people in the media that constantly say they don't want to encourage any type of console war nonsense, but that's literally all you see them write about. Right. And it feels like there's a difference between making an article that is going to start console war foolishness than doing one because it's going to. For instance, if you you make an article about any type of exclusive, if you make an article about talking about the lack of AAA exclusives for Xbox, that's probably going to start some form of console war stuff. But if you're making an article to start the console war stuff so you can get the traffic, I feel like that's a little bit different. How did you feel, Hustle? I know you be looking on these Twitter streets, don't act like you don't.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this. When I saw it, shout out to friend of the show, Tony Polanco, he thought that it wasn't the real Game Pass account doing that. First of all, it was. Second of all, I'm here for it. It's like somebody, whoever's in charge of the Wendy's social media account, they got a hold of Xbox Game Pass and they want all the smoke. And they was going. And shout out to NXL too. NXL kind of, hit them up with the 1-2 punch. People was trying to troll NXL in the chat. NXL was leaning on them, boy. They was like, oh, you can make two. Somebody in that thread was like, oh, in Excel, that's real mature. You can make 2 memes, but what if you done in the last, 6 years, or what if you done in the last 5 years? And it was 6 games and 2 DLC expansions. It's going on, people. Doug, I'm here for it. And one of the ways you brought it up earlier, I don't got an issue with Microsoft being super positive, but at the end of the day, man, you can't just keep letting people just smack you around, smack in the face and all that. You gotta. Right. I mean, you gotta let them know what time it is sometime. And I just thought it was utterly hilarious. Listen, Kotaku getting the attention they want. That's why I'm like, they doing what they do. They know what they're doing. Just like earlier this week, I'm not sure if you two are familiar, but there was a young lady, and I'm not gonna mention her name or anything. She had said something in reference to Game Pass and being a minority. It's like you can't afford it if you're a black or a brown person. And
I heard about that. I thought that was fake. I didn't know that was real.
Nah, that was a real thing, and it was yesterday. It was yesterday, as a matter of fact. So when I see stuff like that, I think people know what they tweet, and it was just people know what they doing. Kotaku knew what they was doing. Kotaku wasn't expecting that response, and I'm gonna be real with you. If I'm Kotaku, I wouldn't have expected that response either. Xbox be chilling, they be kumbaya, holding hands, skipping through the field. When we all play, we all win, or whatever that phrase is, and I know it's used for disabled people and what have you, but a lot of people use that and they're pushing that narrative. It's like, oh, it's about all of us. No. Well, yes and no, but that whole thing to me was absolutely hilarious. Alex had did a video. Oh no, it's Alex had did a video on this whole thing. I got a good kick out of it this morning, man. Kotaku, they ain't really, respectfully, they ain't been the same since Schreier left, and I know a lot of people ain't necessarily big on what he does, but I can say that he's like a real journalist over there. You can tell that he's missed, sadly. And I went to Kotaku for anything. I'm gonna keep it real with you. Even when Schreier was over there, who really went to Kotaku for?
Nobody.
I always be forgetting their website. I'm gonna be real.
Bro, listen, they are very forgettable. They even print bad gaming information. Like who spots checks this reads when before they upload them, because they're not a good site. They're just not good, and they're not talking with no facts. They're just saying stuff, and then people like, oh my God, Game Pass is losing, and this Game Pass is for minorities or people that's poor. Because now that you brought that up, Hustle, yesterday I went into a couple PlayStation spaces on Twitter, and I don't get involved with the console war, but I always listen to the gamers. And one of them said, Game Pass is for poor people. I said, what? So I just went in there to listen, and that's where I heard this young lady say some crazy stuff. So I was just like, so they made a space about it. It was crazy.
Yeah, if I find that tweet, I'm not gonna mention the person's name, but if I do find that tweet, I'm gonna tag you in my response more or less. But that whole thing was hilarious. No, Kotaku, man, I know, like, if like I often talk about like integrity, right? Like you'll never see me like on. Oh yeah, that's for sure. Like you'll never see me hop up on camera and like address, and then I mean like paint my face white enough. Like, cause I just got too much integrity for myself. Like I would never play like that. I got too much integrity for myself. Plus, once you put something out on the internet, it's there forever. That's why I be careful about what I'm talking about. Be careful what I say. When I don't know what I'm talking about, I don't got problem saying all that. Kotaku in general, man. I mean, like I said, they fell off since Raya left, man. I mean, you know, and what they ever really on is
no. I was going to say
that. And you know, Kotaku, they gonna come at me with some. I'm built for that, baby. But I mean, it
doesn't even matter. Like, so what? they troublemakers. That's what they do.
Yeah, they trying. They really reaching with a lot of this, and I just think it's I think it's odd, and I do want to like get some people's thoughts in the chat as well about this. But hey, listen, man, I ain't never really seen because y'all been around this longer than me. So I ain't never really seen like a company get like ratio like that. I ain't never really seen that. I've seen like Doom gameplay.
I've seen
like the dude was playing Doom. I've seen that happen. I've seen the dude try to play Cuphead. I've seen him get killed online for that. I ain't never really seen this so much. So I think just, you know, by me just covering this for the first time and really looking at everything, seeing that for the first time is like, yo, like whoever this gentleman or lady was who wrote that article was like, it's like, yo, your credibility took a hit, and you can want to. It's gonna be a long time before you like repair that. You can be right about 10 more stories. They still gonna look at you like, nah, you're the person who went at. And if they would have did this to PlayStation, you know, they hitting you with the same smoke,
right?
Like, so they doing the same thing. But there's a lot of.
But they're also one of those websites people got to remember. Them and is it GameSpot? No. GameSpot. Mm-hmm. They get paid by people clicking on them. They don't really got a lot of commercials. They get paid by attendance. So if they say something controversial, let me go read what they wrote. Boom. Gotcha. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I got into it with GameStop's one of the dudes who reviewed the game. It was Gears 4. And he said he gave it like a 6. And I was like, do you even play Gears? And he responded like, no. So I'm like, why was you so hard on the game? How could it be a 6? I mean, I don't care about people's reviews because I'm going to play my games regardless. But I just was like, you do know mad people read this. You obviously know this. And you just saying stuff to get people to your site because you get paid by clicks. And he was like, we have to do what we have to do. And this was a reviewer.
I personally feel like, you know, we got to do a better job not feeding into this when these people do stuff like this. We are the reason Kotaku is relevant because, well, not me particularly, and I don't know.
No, we as giving them that attention. But, you're right, Addict.
Us as, you know, Twitter have given that power because, you know, regardless, some people will look at that title and they won't actually go into the article. There's a lot that do. But when you quote tweet it talking nonsense about that actual tweet, guess what people are doing? They're looking at that and they click onto it.
Yep.
You know, it's just like, it is what it is. Like, you know, what's funny is like when you have like a huge person with a following, like a couple 100,000, they'll quote tweet it and talk negative on it. And I'm just like, you literally just exposed that article to 100,000 potential people.
Yes.
And, you know, even if 1% of them clicked on, that's an extra 1,000 views that you gave them. That you didn't.
Right.
You literally gave them.
You're right. I told somebody, I talked about that the other day in the space, and they was talking about the people being toxic. I said, well, if you don't give them a platform, they don't have a voice. And they'll be talking to themselves. Don't get them the attention that they're looking for. It's simple. But, you know, it is what it is, man. Twitterverse will never stop. It's undefeated. It's undefeated.
It's at the end of the day, it is what it is. You know, if Kotaku don't do it, someone else is going to do it. You're always going to have these platforms that will do stuff like that because shock value is so easy to jump onto. And just because gaming might not get you, I know sports people, someone writes some crazy stuff about their favorite sports person, that's going to get you. Car people, someone talks about like Ford and a big Ford person, that's going to get you. Like it's not just a gaming thing, it's a worldwide thing, and people will do it as much as they can. I don't know why Netflix decided to just turn on randomly on my TV, but that's besides the point.
That's because they're listening.
Yo, listen, I felt the same way. You saw me get up. I'm like, why is my house door opening? Like it was like,
I got it.
I was like, what the?
But nah, the whole thing with salacious titles. I mean, I'm gonna say who, but YouTube, they'll tell you to do that too. So it's just, and I try to stay away from that unless it's something I'm really covering. Like I try not to say, like the new not God of War, the new Thor movie. Like if I jump out the window, if I did movie trailer reviews and all that, and I said this trailer, the God of War Thunder Love trailer is trash, and I do the mean face and I do it like I put my through something.
Yeah.
That's gonna get somebody to click on that joint.
No,
so that's part of that game. I get it, but I don't. It just ain't my thing. I try not to do that.
Our code friends and code creators are doing the same thing.
What I don't.
Yeah, I know a few.
What I don't like is the fact that everyone gets under the same umbrella to a lot of people. When I make a YouTube video that the title isn't clickbait, it's just interesting, I will admit that there is different levels to clickbait. I make a title that says Xbox got huge news. People are like, why are you clickbaiting, addict? Like, and the reason people are like that is because you got people like Kotaku that's going extra 24/7 on clickbaiting articles. As long having an interesting title is clickbait, but it's not bad clickbait. It's just like, look, you got to play the game or you don't play.
No,
that's pretty much how it is.
Pique their interest.
Yeah,
pique their interest.
And it's very annoying when people try to like launch everyone to the same clickbaiting title. Like, what I consider true negative clickbait is having a title that has nothing to do with the video itself. You go in there and they have pretty much bamboozled you just to come in there, just to give them a view. Sure, their watch time ain't going to be the greatest, but if you're tricking 10, 15,000 people to go in there for a minute and a half before they realize it's not what it's about, then clearly you're going to, that's going to be beneficial. Sure, it's not going to be on the watch time, but YouTube does more than just one algorithm. They do it on a variety of things. What kind of engagement you have in comment section, how much it's liked. Like, they do it multiple different ways. And people need to realize that title and that thumbnail are extremely important to get people into the video.
One of the most important things. But ESPN did it to me one day. The title read, LeBron James talked about Jordan disrespectfully, or he said something in that way. So I clicked on it and said, what did this dude say about, you get enough problems. I watched this thing for 30 minutes. They didn't even mention the title. They got me.
That's criminal, dog.
Yo, they got me. I was like, you see, I said, they even talk about LeBron and Jordan. They talked about a whole bunch of other stuff, and not one time did they mention what LeBron said about Mike. It was just for the title. ESPN is guilty too.
Hey, Attic, before we go on, real quick, 108, I got a question for you. Have you heard of the phrase, this is a no-fly zone? Have you heard of that phrase?
Yes.
I'm sure you have. You know where it came from, right?
No.
Trick.
Wait. What?
Came from a Trick out Detroit. This is the no-fly zone. It was on a song by Royce the 5'9" called Gangsta.
Oh, nice.
I'd like to say this. You brought up the ESPN thing. It's like no-fly zone. I think they were talking about the Falcons. All right, it's clever play on words. Them the same as ESPN, Monday Night Football. And I know, I'm Attic. I don't know if you watch football, but I think you do 108. And I know King and them do.
Yeah, I'm a big football fan.
So, the whole...
I'd rather pick my teeth out.
Oh, man. I feel that way at times, too. But no, Ed Lover...
crazy.
Ed Lover out in New York, he had a YouTube channel. Like, he would do, all the stupid stuff people would do on the internet. He would hold up a sign and say, come on, son, get out of here with that BS. Right?
Come on, son.
They actually did, yes. Then they actually stole that from Ed Lover. ESPN actually stole that from Ed Lover as well. And I was heartbroken behind that because they didn't pay that man at all. There's a lot to deal with ESPN. I know it had nothing to do with nothing, but I wanted to bring that up because first of all, they always watching. So when you come up with something, you got to patent it. You got to make sure
you got to
on top of your P's and Q's. I know that had nothing to do with nothing. As far as the clickbait titles and thumbnails and stuff, I wanted to expound upon that. I literally, I don't know if you helped me out with the views on that, but I literally did and worked kind of hard on my Turtles Revenge thumbnail. And I did it twice. And that video got over because I only got 600 and some odd subs. One of them videos almost had 1,000 views, and the other one I think is at 500. But my point is that thumbnail is eye-catching. That thumbnail will catch you. And I try to keep my thumbnails authentic to actually what I'm talking about. But that's just me. So all that stuff works, as you mentioned before. All that stuff definitely works.
I need to get better on my thumbnails, man. I'm always in my thumbnails, but I'm not gonna do Shredder's Revenge. I played at the PAX and it's not good, and this is why. I'm not doing that.
Look,
Plus, that game is fire.
I was gonna say I'm gonna be real with you. I done seen that gameplay. Ain't nobody gonna believe you when you say that. That joint,
man, I played that thing
be fire, boy. I can't wait. I can't wait, bro.
Shoot, I can't wait to get my review copy.
Lucky y'all, I got to pay for it. But okay, no, I'm not gonna go into the Turtles thing. My fault at it. I'm not gonna go into I was about to go into a whole Turtles monologue. I don't want to do that. My fault at it. Go ahead.
You guys are ridiculous. I mean, when it comes down to it, I feel like I said, people need to be better on talking. Let's go on Discord and call them foolish. Let's not promote them and then they get more views. You are literally putting more money into their pocket by talking about them than you're putting into your pocket by not talking about them. So it's just why do we keep doing this? But there ain't really much to go into that. I guess we could go a little bit into... let me get this super chat by Flame real quick. We got a $2 super chat from Flame. The Game Pass ratio was delicious. Exile is a GOAT. Yeah, Exile Entertainment, go out there and try Wasteland 3. It's a really good game. I actually reviewed it on this on my channel. You can go out and watch that. It is a co-op game. It is a co-op game, so I think, it's always fun to play stuff with a friend. But, obviously we see a lot of people unsubbing to Game Pass here lately. And the biggest thing, I want to ask you guys, because we got 108 in here, is do you think that what we're seeing with people unsubbing is justified, or do you think that it's clout chasing? Because I see a lot of people going around that they think it's just for attention, and I'm curious what you guys think about that. So what do you think, 108?
Let's just be real here, right? Game Pass is the best deal in gaming, right? Sony's making an effort to try to compete. Let's just be real here. Dudes don't get their way. I'm getting rid of my Xbox. I'm every shirt I bought, I'm burning it. Listen. They clout chasing. I don't see none of my friends talking about that. I only see people on Twitter saying, oh, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna unsub. Now everybody, they making spaces about it. They want to get them clicks. They want to get them views. They're talking about it. The content creators, mad people are unsubbing from Game Pass. Where do you get these numbers from? That didn't come from Microsoft. You just talking and you cloud chasing. Because honestly, who wants half of their library to disappear? Because those games will no longer work. DRM will kick in. We said that before the show. Bye. I'm not gonna not have my games because, Starfield got delayed. Okay, suck it up. Grow up. There's a lot of games getting delayed. Stalker 2 got delayed too. Horizon Forbidden West missed the holiday season too. Games get delayed. It's no reason for this uproar, but it's more of, I need attention. I need somebody to stroke my ego, make me feel better today. Somebody should say, no, don't leave Game Pass. We're here for you. I'm not doing that. You go ahead and do it and you be right back.
Do you think that they might have done it a little bit to get Microsoft's attention internally? Having Microsoft DM them what can we do for you? Here's a survey we'd like you to fill out. No.
Hell to them.
I do feel like Microsoft is very reactive when it comes to Twitter. And if someone big enough was criticizing their service, I do feel like they might want to have a conversation of what they might be doing wrong.
True. And what was the biggest thing they ever decided to do? And we all should know this in this room. The biggest thing is when they said they was going to raise the price of live.
Oh, man.
Remember that?
They got real bad feedback.
That's something to respond to. Not a couple of dudes talking about, I'm unsubbing. I'm sick of this. No, not them dudes. But when you got uproar of over 1 million people talking about you raising Game Pass, Xbox Live to 120, that's something different. But they're not going to respond to this because it's not. It's the meatheads talking. It's not the. I'm not getting rid of Game Pass, and I wasn't on the Game Pass hype train in the beginning because they didn't have what I needed to be in there, which was big titles, and especially with the announcement of first-party titles. So, when I got to E3, they took care of me, and Game Pass is the ultimate. I'm still waiting to pay for it. I'm not unsubscribing. Not unsubscribing. That's crazy. That's nonsense. Even if these people are not gamers, right? And they're a parent, you give your kid a system and a subscription base like Game Pass, right? They got hundreds of games that they would never get in 4 or 5 years' time. They got hundreds and hundreds of titles that you don't have to come out of your pocket, but $10 a month. What parent would unsubscribe from that and go back to GameStop and buying games or buying the games from the store? Hustle, do that even make sense?
Nah, not the way I grew up for damn sure. Let me tell you that. I'm gonna be real with you. But I love my physical games, and I'm gonna answer the question in a second at it. Well, I love my physical games and my titles, and the wanted to always own something. Nah, this Game Pass is dope, regardless of whatever gripes I might have with it, because you don't own it, because you actually don't own it, but it just is what it is. Attic, let me ask you a question. Did I unsubscribe from Game Pass? No. Did I announce it on Twitter? No, of course not. And this is from a person who has physical games and enjoys my physical content. Yeah, you had asked whether they was clout chasing or not. Yeah, it's definitely the latter and not the former, dog. First of all, anytime I unsubscribe from wherever I'm subscribed to, guess what I'm not doing? I'm not hopping on the phone and I'm not tweeting it out. I don't like this service no more.
See, okay.
That's what I'm not.
Let me butt in real quick, okay? I agree with you guys. I do. For the most part, we are spoken individuals, but we don't live on Twitter like that's our everyday life thing. We all have like regular jobs. Like the people that came out and spoke, they literally criticize for a living. That's Facts. What they're used to. Mm-hmm. They're used to going on Twitter and giving that opinion. Now, I do think that Gene, like the person who started all of this, I don't think he was clout chasing.
No, not at all.
If you read his tweet, I do feel like he was just generally like, look, right now, I'm not saying that Xbox isn't a value, because I do think it's a value, but I don't have time to play the games that's there, and the games that I want aren't there. I feel like he was genuine. He wanted just to, and he even said, I'll be back when the games drop that appeal to me. I feel like that's fair criticism. That's extremely fair criticism.
But that's not really a criticism. That's just that's his opinion, but that's not a criticism. Well, I mean, we all know they got a ton of AAA games in there. They got dope indie bangers, because Yomi jumped in there day one. You cannot tell me everything in Game Pass. He must have played everything in Game Pass that he wanted to play.
What? Does he review games? Here's the thing. If he reviews games and he's from big websites, he's probably getting the majority of these games free anyway. Mm-hmm. So why would he need that service if he's getting review codes and he's getting to play the games before the game even comes out? So I can understand that logic. Because I don't think... Here's the thing. We need to stop acting like, and I'm not saying we as in us, I'm saying like Twitter as a whole, need to stop acting like Xbox Game Pass was tailored just for your ass, because it wasn't. Xbox Game Pass is a center of multiple genres that come together to try to appeal to as many people as possible to keep them people into that service all the time. Hardcore gamers this is different because all the stuff that they put in there, besides like the day one indies and Microsoft's day one games, we probably already own that shit.
But hold on, I'm gonna tell you what it did for me, Addict.
Okay.
Right? I'm like Hustle. I like hard copies. The reason I do digital because I game share. Right? Mm-hmm. That's the key. But let me tell you what Game Pass did for me. Wasn't with it at first. Once they announced first party titles, day and date, now you swam me over. You bring in, because I'm the dude that buy the collectibles, all this other stuff. I don't care. I'm just gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? But what they did for me is I'm playing stuff that I refuse to buy. I'm playing more indies now and giving them a chance where if you drop that in the store with a great trailer and I'm like, I'm still not paying for that. You understand what I'm saying? So it's more than just, I'm a hardcore dude. But look what they did for me. They would have charged me $50, $60 for Trek or Yomi. I'd have had to wait till Black Friday and I buy everything day one. Certain games I'm not going to be paying that money for. I spend too much as it is. So it's like, it gives you a bigger library and it gives you opportunity to try stuff you would never purchase.
And you know what's funny too, 108, is you look at something like Track-a-Yomi, like, I'm pretty sure PlayStation's tired of them going out, getting these marketing deals because they had it show up on their show. They was heavily marketing that game to a point. And then Microsoft pops them all, because that's cute, but it's in Game Pass day and date. Because at that point,
you need something, Addict.
At that point,
you need something on your show.
What?
You need a king cutout face. So when you go into your king moment, you pop it up and you talk behind it, because that was.
How do we know
moment.
King isn't going into my moments? Okay, why do I have to automatically go into King moments?
Because you know how he gives it up. That was a King moment. Good one. I love it, Addict. Keep going.
It's just, look, at the end of the day, it's like I said, Game Pass, I do think they need to do better in terms of making more games that appeal to a bigger audience. I know they're lacking a little bit in Japanese, support. Now, they are doing better. They got stuff like Dragon Quest in there. They got stuff like this Idarkon Chronicle Rising game. They're getting the big game they're making next year. But I do think, we need to see stuff like Final Fantasy VII Remake hit that pass. We need to see, even if you can't get that, you need to go out there and be more aggressive getting those type of games in there. You got a fighter market that is starving, that you could easily put Killer Instinct in there and raise subscription services because of that. Now, I will admit, first person, they're going to be fine after the Activision's done. You got Halo, Call of Duty. I don't think they're going to have any issues on that. Sports, I think they need to do a little bit better on that. I'm not a sports person, but I can understand.
Well, 2K22 is in there.
Yeah,
right,
and
again.
I agree on that, but I do feel like, that's something that people would like for that. Like, I do understand where people come from in terms of certain of these scenarios, but Microsoft is doing a phenomenal job having as many genres in there. Like, I only named a couple, literally one or two. I do think that the sports could improve a little bit, but you do have a point. There's a lot in there. I don't really play sports, but when it comes to
you gotta look at this. Hold on, give me a second. They got the EA Play. You get your you got Madden dropping in there. Remember, the day and date with the baseball game. That's huge.
The show, yeah,
that's huge.
So yeah,
and
maybe
you dropping 2K
right.
in there
You're
every other month. 2K is the only basketball game out there.
Yeah, you're right.
That's major. They got hockey covered. Anything going EA Play, remember, that's part of Game Pass.
I think maybe I'm talking about more of a, I do know people like the smaller sports in there too. I don't necessarily.
Well, ain't too many of those.
I get that. I
hope you ain't talk about rugby 2018.
Oh man!
At the end of the day, I do agree with you. I am wrong in terms of sports. They do a good job in sports. Keep in mind, like I said, I don't play. I see what I see on Twitter. I'm not doing research. What these people say they want more sports game. Maybe they're talking like day and date.
Racing's a sport. They got a ton of races. I think they got every genre covered. They even dropped Octopath Traveler in Game Pass.
It's a lot over there. Hey, Addict.
That was big.
Let me get a few of these super chats before we get like far
Oh,
behind.
I'll
I
get
don't know
them
if you
here in
had
a
access.
second. I'll get them. Here
Okay,
in a
cool.
second.
I thought you didn't have access. All right,
Yeah,
cool.
you know, I see them. I just I don't know if I see the members. Yo, if there's a member in the chat, do a member chat real quick so I can see if it pops up on this thing. Thank you. Okay, let me let me read some of these super chats real quick. We got a $5 super chat from Drawn TJ. Hey guys, I hope Microsoft next year buys EA. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk.
Oh
about
boy.
that.
Hey,
You know
did you
what?
get
We might
you get
talk
Flame
about
super
that
chat?
next. We might take about Flame was at the beginning.
Yes, at the very
I
beginning.
got that. I
right,
got
cool.
the next one too. Then we
All
got a $5 super chat from Decado. Probably butchered that, but you know what? It's your fault for making your name that. So I'm not a Game Pass user in hopes and dreams. In the future, I am there for what I play there now. Game Pass will just have not to have games for me to cancel. I agree. I don't know anyone that's buying Game Pass for games in the future. For the most part. Now, what I will say is they do a good job surprising you throughout the month where, yo, what's coming out next month? What's coming out this month?
Yep.
Though on a random Tuesday in the middle of the month, they'll be like, you were dropping 15 games. Really? And I think a lot of people don't really take advantage of that. And I feel like that's one of those things that they don't get enough credit for. Because sure, it's been kind of a dry spell when it comes to the Xbox platform and their exclusivity this year. It's hard to complain when you got stuff to play. I'm going to be real with you. It's hard to complain when they're dropping stuff consistently into Game Pass that's keeping you... What's the word I'm looking for?
You see the member chat?
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah.
It is there. I
right.
appreciate
All right,
that.
cool.
Heated Heavy 505. Addict saying
Appreciate
Game
you,
Pass
homie.
don't have Badman. Oh, okay, that's that. Okay, I know what you're talking about, man. You ain't getting me. I know what you're talking about. So that's what I'm saying. Like, Xbox Game Pass gives enough people some sprinkles, man. We'll call it sprinkles. They sprinkling that little stuff over. Sure, you want the appetizer. We're in the appetizer stage of the year. I mean, we might be in the appetizer stage for the whole year. But I've never seen anyone bitch about appetizers. Like,
I mean,
it's just like, at the end of the day, we do want AAA stuff and we want more quality stuff. And I agree on that. But it's like I said last week and the week before. Some of these games are going to take more time and some of these games was delayed by the pandemic. And if you feel like it's too long of a wait for you, then I understand. Go ahead and unsub. Do your little public leaving. Man, public leaving mass appeal. I think it's weird, but it is what it is. And come back when it appeals to you. But why? There's people out there that's been saying it for 4 days. Every day they're talking about it. It's just like, dude, I get it. What?
I'm not rolling. It's cloud chase. I do want to
Right.
go back.
I'm not doing that.
Let me get this real quick. $2 super chat
cool.
from Flame. Xbox needs to add triangle strategy. Just saying. Great game. And I think there's a good chance that happens unless Sony buys Square Enix. Continue, Hustle.
Well, no. It's definitely a cloud chase, dog. I mean, you look at, we've seen it. We even seen it yesterday. Not to bring up a tragedy, but anytime something get to popping, like really popping, and I'm guilty of it too. And I look, I put my hands up. Of course, I might get into a conversation, but I don't ever try to like tweet out stuff that's like, oh, we're gonna get this much traction, this much attention. The stuff that I see a few people comment on, and I'm not gonna say their name or nothing like that, but
Right.
I see them just commenting on everything that's popular. Every single thing. Like, you can do it every now and again and make it look less obvious, but when you do everything, like, it's like
You
a
see
list.
the same names.
It's just, bro. I'm like, yo, come on. I'm like, yo, y'all don't got nothing. It ain't nothing for y'all to like do.
And let me ask y'all both a question. How many AAAs honestly release every year?
I would say a handful of them. Call of Duty is always one
Right,
that
a
comes out,
handful.
right?
So when these people keep begging for AAAs, what AAAs are you waiting for? Or what AAAs you expect? Because God of War's a AAA. We in 2022. We about to get a new one. So you gonna just play God of War, the first one, and just go, all right, we had Halo 5, and we waited all these years to get a new one.
I think
so. Gears of War. When the next one coming?
How about that?
You get what but look what I'm saying, Addict. It's like people keep saying AAA. How many honestly do they drop? It's the medium-sized games, the AA games, the indie games that carries the year out. And then you get that banger the end of the year. It's not, you won't get AAA this month, AAA next month, AAA. That is not the schedule. That is not the schedule.
Now, I do feel like that's the case if you take an individual stance from one platform to another, but I feel like if you add the whole community, sure, it's not. I do feel like there is pretty much a couple AAAs every month, but it's not like mainstream AAAs. Like you got like Dying Light to like I would consider that a AAA, wouldn't you guys?
Is Dying Light a AAA game?
I would consider Dying Light 2 a AAA. Put a 1 in the chat. Dying Light 2 is a AAA. 2 in the chat of Dying Light 2 is not a AAA to you guys.
And I do want to say this though, in regards to the people unsubscribing from Game Pass. Have you played and beat all the AAA games, all the first Microsoft first party games on the joint? Because that's kind of what I want to know. Because I still got Game Pass for the Obsidian game. Not Drawn to Death. Oh my God, I'm blanking on the name. But it's with Pavati in it, the chick, and it's the first person joint. Made by Obsidian. Attic, you know it because you put me onto it. I still got
the RPG.
Yes, it's an RPG. Outer Worlds, yeah. Like I got it solely for that. Now, as far as Gears go, like Addict, no, I love Gears. So I love Gears 5 in particular. I bought that day one. So if we really want to talk about, I'm unsubscribing from this and unsubscribing from that, that's fine. I just want to make sure that when Microsoft, since you unsubscribing, when Microsoft drops something day one, make sure you cop that like I did. Make sure you cop the big titles day one like I did.
The thing is though, Hustle and 108. People, it's like I said, people need to stop acting like Game Pass caters to just them. Right. And I feel like I know we're probably going to get a Forza most likely at the end of the year. I know I'm not playing that damn game. Already, I can tell you that right now. But I'm not mad at them for giving us that game. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like Outer Worlds, stuff like that. People don't realize the stuff that was going down. Microsoft is lucky to even be like Xbox, not Microsoft. They would be fine regardless. Xbox is lucky to even be around right now in terms of being still with Microsoft, and the fact that sure, we can make an argument that they took too long to respond to certain things, but I think we can all admit that look, it's funny to see Microsoft bought this, Microsoft bought that. When are we going to get these games? It's criticism saying that we need the games now. But when you go out and you spend this type of money, you're eventually going to get those games. It's just, if you don't want to wait, I get you. Don't wait. But what I do want to move on to is we have an interesting thing that I feel like we should talk about. It's this PlayStation anti-consumer thing. Did you guys see what?
I didn't see that one.
So apparently, there's people out there that it's getting discounts. You know how like you were getting the discounts, and then they were they were doing is they were going out there and getting like the they were going to like Amazon or whatever and getting like the discounted ones,
40%
or on their actual
Plus.
yeah. And so then they were going on there and re-upping. First, it was confirmed through like some Japanese consumers that they were making them pay the difference. And now I've seen more people tweet about it, saying that is going to be the case. Now, what's crazy? I want to point out that regardless if this is true or not, let's say we're going to be in an addict world, man. Like I said, the addict world, I can make whatever the hell I want. And then in the addict's world, this is true. What's crazy is no one talked about it yesterday. I didn't see one video really from big content creators. I didn't really see media write about it too much. Like, imagine if Microsoft went out there, and they're actually doing this. They actually done this, where if you had Xbox Live Gold, you convert it to Ultimate, and you could take literally all the gold that you had, make that Ultimate, and you wouldn't have to pay a dime until that gold subscription's over. They already did this. Exactly what Sony's doing. But guess what Microsoft didn't do? For one, they didn't go out there and say, okay, we're not letting you do it anymore. We realize that the consumers are smart. They're going out there getting like 10 years worth of shit. We're not letting you do it no more. You can have a couple, but you can't add no more PlayStation cards to your service. You can't stack anymore. They disabled stacking. Microsoft didn't do that. They're like, oh, we're going to keep you for 5 to 6 years and you're probably never going to leave this service? Sure. Right. Because you're a customer for 5 to 6 years. We good with that. Sony's like, oh, nah, that's not good. Well,
you gonna pay us?
Everyone, rotate. But and then it's like that person in the chat, that person in there that's like, but Sony, we give them the ability to stack. I don't care what we give them the ability to do. Turn it off. It's crazy that people didn't really talk about that. You know, someone brought it up momentarily, but they're like, people are finessing the system. I don't believe it, but they should. But they should honor that. Okay, so then we thought it was over. We thought, I get it. I understand. I don't agree, but we're just got to move on with our life. So then Sony took those people that was going out there to the Amazons or whatever those cards were, and they're like, guess what? We know you thought you finessed us, but we really finessed you. So when we do this update, you're going to get a pop-up that says, give me your money. You know, that card thing that King said. Like, you're going to sit there, and you know why the PlayStation 5 is so big? Because when stuff like this happens, the top just splits, and a card reader pops up. And it says, swipe your card to continue using this PlayStation. And the funny thing, the crazy thing, is like I said, it's not the issue on whether or not it should be done. Sony has the right to do whatever they want to do. It's the fact that no one talked about it. It's the fact that I saw very few people make videos about it. And then they sit there and act like, I don't understand. If Microsoft did this where they're like, okay, you guys got good deals, what we're going to do is we're going to stick around after you already bought it. You already gave us money. And we're going to hold our hand out. And we'd be like, give me some more. Like, you can't. It's like there's 2 lanes to go into a club. You got through the first one, man. You got your ticket. And they're saying, we need the second ticket before you can go in the club. But I already paid the first ticket. Oh, that was the one to get in here to pay for this one to get in the actual club. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. So, let's start with Hustle. Hustle, what is your opinion? Because I saw you over there. I feel like you ain't feeling my conversations.
Well, I kind of, and I got slandered for everybody, of course. However, I do want to give people just because I would love to know when the time when all this kicked off, because we had an unspeakable tragedy, which I'm not going to go into, happen yesterday. So if we didn't see people cover it, I'm sure that was the reason why, because that thing that happened yesterday that made national news attention. That's the only real reason why
I'll give you that.
That kind of right. So that's kind of why I figured why that didn't pick up steam yesterday. No, but there was one guy, I don't know who he was, but I'm assuming he got the deal from like a dealer and Rand and a few of the Xbox cats, where everybody was upgrading their service, and it was, capitalizing on it because it was a $1 to upgrade the premium or to Xbox Ultimate. One guy, one gentleman, I'm not sure of his name, but he got PS Plus for 10 years. He got to be feeling it right now, dog, because he got paid for that apparently. And I remember seeing that floating around, and hopefully other people will cover it, because I'm more interested to know, are they going to grandfather him in? They probably won't. But is PlayStation going to grandfather him in to be like, all right, we see what you did. Don't worry, we're going to hold you down? Or is Jim going to be like, nah, we want some more money. Give me all that bread you got in your pocket. Give me the leg. Give it all here. He said, give me your pennies. Give me your certs. You said everything in
like
Sony attached to your change.
Sony, that kind of person that once they take your bank account, you start walking out, and they done took everything, man. They took the house, the car, they took the dog, the less attractive wife, and then they sitting there walking towards the door, and then Sony just gets right in front of the door, blocking the exit, and they're like, "What else do you want from me? You ain't leaving without my shirt. Give me my shirt." Like, so Sony, the person, they want everything. They don't care. They want it all. And, they deserve to be like that because they're a corporation, and corporations do that. But there's a difference between still making money and still being fair. And I feel like Sony has done nothing this entire generation but be unfair. They did stuff where it's like the $70 games, which, I actually am a little in the middle on that. I do feel like there is to a point where we can't go years and years and years and years without expecting some type of raise. So I don't really go too much into the $10 raise. I feel like, okay, the industry at this point deserves that, because it's just like we didn't raise the prices in the 360 generation or the Xbox One generation.
Right.
Did we expect to go another generation without a raise in base games?
Right.
To me, I don't feel like that. But PlayStation will sit there and they'll be like, okay, you guys bought the PS5? We're gonna need that PS5 tax. You want to use you want to use this thing here? We're gonna need that PS5 tax. Oh, you want to upgrade from the PS4 version of Spider-Man to the PS5 Spider-Man? We don't need that PS5 tax. And then you want to upgrade from the regular PlayStation to the new PlayStation Plus thing? We gonna need that PS5 tax. And guess what? No one has said nothing about the PS5 tax. People will sit there and be like, but addict, this thing right here, they spend money for this. They should be able to charge for this. When I brought it up, nothing. Okay, I get that, nothing.
Hey, real quick, Ed, I ain't mean to cut you off, but I feel like it's necessary in this case. Pixelbit G, $2 super chat. The PS5 upgrade issue has been reversed to 3 hours ago. Oh, God.
Okay, everything else is reversed. Spider-Man was reversed. People act like it goes away because they reversed it. They sat there and tried to screw you over, and finally they come back. But here's the thing. You guys let something, I'm not saying people in the chat, I'm not saying people in the thing. People out there in this Twitterverse, this big ass Twitter hole, will let some of this stuff go and not other stuff of this go. That's why you got $70 games, because no one said nothing. That's why you got $10 upgrade fees, because no one said something. Like, people act like just because they reversed this doesn't mean they try to do that in the first place. Did we give Xbox credit for reversing the Xbox Gold thing? We did. We said
technically they didn't reverse it because they never started it.
Yeah, they never did it.
Sony had the reverse.
That's the part that blows my mind. We didn't give Xbox credit for that. We said you was out your damn mind anyway. This is the way it should have went.
You should have known better.
they were, by the way. The Xbox was, by the way. They shouldn't even play it like that. That to me was wild. You charging that money for Xbox Gold, but that's, come on, man. Well, Xbox for live.
All they technically did with that is they said, look, we give you discounts if you buy it. We're no longer giving you the discounts. They didn't technically raise it. They just stopped giving you the discount. But it's just like you've been
giving to 120.
But no, see, what they did is they stopped offering you the yearly discounts that you got half off. Up until that point, you could buy a year of discount and get that year half off, and that's why you was getting that. And that's the part that, they didn't technically raise it, but you can't offer a service like that for like 2 decades and then expect people to be okay with taking that away. That's why I'm okay with this PlayStation Plus stuff, because PlayStation Plus, I consider this new PlayStation Plus a Game Pass competitor. Sure, it's not the greatest Game Pass competitor, but I still think it is a Game Pass competitor, because the best service and the reason Game Pass does so well isn't because of those first-party games. Those first-party games do well. They raise the nervous, but you know what keeps people in the service? It's the tunics that drop monthly. It's these random indie games that drop monthly. It's the NBA show that drop monthly. Those are the games that keep it, and I feel like PlayStation has done that well on the PlayStation Plus Essential subscription. I don't know what they call them, 3 tiers. That's what they do well, and I feel like that they did good. And I'm hoping that Microsoft sees that and they're like, okay, they do have good games in here. They put God of War in there. They put Returnal that just came out not recently ago. Came out like, a year ago. That Ratchet and Clank's not in there yet, but, they might end up throwing that in there. They put the Ghost of Tsushima, Game of the Year, whatever the hell it's called. They put all that in there. And someone coming out the street that's just buying a PlayStation, didn't play any of those games, that's going to be a good service to them. They're going to sub to that. Now, I don't know how it's going to start working when you see the Outer Worlds 2, Hellblade 2, all these other games that Microsoft is eventually going to get. I don't know. Maybe I'll have gray in my beard by then, which I already got some gray in my beard, so that's besides the point. I don't know how long that's going to be. But they are eventually going to come out. We'll have to see how PlayStation handles when that happens. Because if those games start dropping and they're doing really well Metacritic-wise, review-wise, maybe not necessarily sales, because why would you buy the game if you can get it in that subscription? I'm sure they'll sell well on the PC. But if those subscriptions start soaring through the air and people start seeing Xbox as this place where you could go for and be a very economical thing where you can go play all the games that you want to play, buy some of the games that you want to play, and you get all this value on Xbox. You get to play the Outer Worlds. You get to play whatever they do with Halo here going out. And I could see that being a scenario where people are like, "What? I'll buy a PlayStation when they start dropping stuff I want." Not playing anything over there on PlayStation. It's not exclusive, but I got this stuff called Gamepass over here on Xbox that I can play Fable, Outer Worlds, Hellblade 2, Avowed. You got Elder Scrolls 6, probably Wolfenstein 3, Starfield, Indiana Jones, and then Call of Duty, Overwatch. Like, when people start seeing these games constantly dropping in Game Pass, you're going to start seeing people have to choose between the platforms. Keep in mind, we're still at the beginning of the generation for the most part. The early. Mass majority of consumers that are casual people have not invested into a console yet. When they start seeing their key components like the Call of Duties, the Overwatch 2s, these huge juggernaut things that's on a Game Pass, and you can literally walk into a GameStop or Walmart, pick up an Xbox Series S or X, leave there with Call of Duty brand new that year, it's going to start hitting different. We're going to have to see how Sony handles that Microsoft. Right now, it's easy to kick someone while they down because they've had to delay games. It's easy to do that. But when these games start coming out, and if they're good, you're going to see Sony react differently. And I'm sorry, I completely went to a rant.
Well, technically, you really on point, and you had 1,000 points there because this was crazy. Once that happens, Sony cannot respond. Microsoft has more studios. They don't make AAAs fast enough. This is why my whole point in the beginning was, how many games of AAA you honestly believe come out from first party? There'd be years between the sequels, right or wrong.
Oh, I'm not,
they will. So with this amount of development teams, you're gonna have a lot of AAA titles. So Game Pass is definitely gonna pay off. But and it's good that they overturned it. I have one major problem with my PlayStation 5. I paid for the system already, right? I don't mind if it's a game $70. Listen, we've been on $65 games for years. So technically, it was a $5 upgrade, not really a $10. But why are you charging me for features that's built into my controller for the game? Why I got paid $10 for that?
Hey, that's that PlayStation tax, baby.
Listen,
I like it.
Nobody talks about it. I don't even use haptic feedback because I don't like it. But why do I have to pay for it? I already bought the system. That's kind of crazy.
For sure. Yeah, for sure.
That's kind of crazy. So you charging me for something that I already paid for a feature in a game. Nah. I got it turned off anyway.
And I can understand charging them that $10 if you get the PS5 version after the PS5 came out. But the part that blew my mind is they're charging people to get that had the PlayStation 4 version. If you bought Spider-Man Ghost of Tsushima and you wanted that PS5 version, you already gave them the money for that game. You shouldn't have to recommit to get the next version of that game when the version exists. If it doesn't exist, that's different. If you can't physically go out there and get that, you can't force Sony to get that. But if Sony has that on there and they're charging that to the new, if you went out there, it's like I said, if you went out there limited and you picked up that $70 version, then at that point it is what it is.
No, but hold on, Attic. I picked up the $200 version.
But you get what I'm saying.
The statue and all that stuff, and they still want to charge me for haptic feedbacks. Nah, my version should have been included with that because that's crazy. Nah, I can't do that, bro. Come on, man. Respect my wallet. That's crazy, man. I can't co-sign that. I don't mind the $70 games, man, but listen, man, I can't co-sign that. Oh, yeah, you know what? It is a $10 jump because $75 with taxes, $76 and some change. Yeah, that is a $10 jump. That is true. Let me correct that.
Well,
crazy.
So it is what it is when it comes to that. Hustle, you want to comment anything before we move on?
108, you shouldn't have bought that Horizon joint because I almost fell into that trap too, dog. Because I wanted that statue as well. I'm glad I didn't buy it. As far as commenting on, no, I bet it is. I bet. As far as everything else, I just wanted to take the time to thank everybody in the chat. I see a couple people in the chat right now. So Xbox University there. Pixelbit G been dropping a lot of knowledge in that chat. Just want to say we appreciate you all here.
Trying to.
Yeah. Nah, I'm taking a look at it, and thank y'all for hitting that like button, man. It's always fun to do this, and as we move on, hopefully we can make some more memories. Attic, what is the next topic, my kind friend?
Let's go ahead and get these super chats real quick, and then we're gonna move on to the next mid-gen refreshes. Might have been leaked. So we got the Elon 7, the Darkness, $5 super chat. Replaced was delayed due to devs being located in Belarus and Ukraine. 2023 will be an epic year. I will agree. Stuff that's been naturally delayed to 2023, it's making an already stacked year pretty more stacked. I asked the developers, there's more months than just February, March. Like, can we like sprinkle them throughout the year? We had so much.
You know what it is? It's about quarters, man.
Yeah, I get that. Then we got a $2 super chat from Pixelbit G. The PS upgrade issue has been reversed 3 hours ago. All right. Shout out to Sony for reversing, because sometimes they don't listen to people. Shout out to them. They don't never listen. Got a $2 super chat from BitCloud Gaming. Who's yelling? BitCloud? It was me. Then we got I think that's all for right now. Yeah, that's all. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to. It looks like TCL. You guys know how King feels about them. That's his favorite brand. He's got them everywhere in his house. Looks like they might have accidentally leaked the next gen mid-refresh consoles. I don't know what they'll call the series. Maybe Series X version 2. I think that's probably where they'll go with that. I don't know. And the PS5 Pro. We're going to go ahead and start Hustle this one. I'm kind of curious how you feel about. Do you feel like we need mid-gen refreshes of these current consoles? Hell, within 2 years, it looks like.
Do we need it? Do we need it? No. Do we need it this? No. Do we need it? Yes. Do we need it this soon? No. So I did a live stream on that. I don't think we even see these or even start to sniff these until like 2025. Why I say it like that? 2025 is what I wanted to say. I don't think that's like why I say it like that. Anyway, I don't think we see it until then. As far as it, I'm for it for this very good reason. We can't really get no PS5 or really no Xbox Series X's out in the stores like that because the box and scalpers. So if they have the opportunity to make more and even stronger hardware, by all means, you go ahead and do that. By all means, you go ahead and do that. So that way everybody can at least try to get one or whatever the case may be. Now, what I would like to see is whatever the next Uncharted game is for me personally, or Last of Us remake, whatever. I want to see that push the PS5 to its limits, but that won't happen anyway because the Last of Us is actually rumored to come out this year, and I put rumored in quotation marks. We probably won't see nothing like that until we see the next Uncharted. We probably won't see that until The Last of Us 3. We probably won't see that until Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah. We probably won't see this PS5 get pushed. And even with Spider-Man, because Spider-Man's supposed to come out next year. God of War comes out this year. We won't see the OG PS... It sounds weird saying that. We won't see the PS5... We won't see the vanilla PS5 get pushed to its limits for quite some time anyway. So, here's the thing. Do you need it? No. However, you need it for the simple fact that the PS5s in particular are hard to get. Even Xboxes. The Series S is super easy. I can leave right now, go to the store, and come back with one. That's easier. Series X is not so much. I think you kind of still be. If you want one bad enough, you gotta be on your phone all day long. Yeah, pun intended, of course. But you gotta really be on it for that. But nah. Do we need it? Do we need it right now? No. Would I love to see it? Yeah. Because, hey, look, I like hardware, dog. I ain't finna hold you. Plus, I want to see what more can you add at that point? Because you're talking about 4K 120, right? At one point, I saw people was tweeting out 8K. Yo, bruh, I want to be something. I want to say something perfectly clear for everybody here. Yo, as far as PlayStation and the Xbox, they ain't really mastered 4K yet, in my humble opinion. I'm talking about 4K 120. They ain't hit that at all.
There's no game that plays at 4K 120. They're all like 1800p.
Which is fine, by the way. Which is still fine. Yeah.
But they're not even at 4K 120 every multiplayer game.
Yeah, them joints 1080p 120 if you're lucky. And I don't know. I always look at it like the upgrading of consoles. Like I think it's cool. I think this console generation is gonna last 10 years. So that would, and just to extend the life on it, just so people can get familiar with the hardware. It was x86, so I think they're already familiar with the architecture and everything. So I think everything is gonna be cool. I saw shout out to Shiv Mom in the chat. Yeah, I saw AMD's new card on there too. I'm Team Green over here though, baby. So that ain't really bothering me too much. We in video all day over here. But I think it's cool. Like I said, is it needed? Not right now, but it will be needed in the future. And I think this generation is going to go until 2030, in my humble opinion.
2030.
Yeah. I give it 10 years. I give it 10 years, considering the actual economic situation that we're in right now.
Facts.
Would anybody else like to go?
What do you feel, 108? Do you feel like this is needed?
Hell no. This is not needed. They ain't even touched the power of these two systems. And let's just keep it funky. The person that owns a PS5, we're not going to even talk about the Series X. The person that owns the PS5 has a better game console than the PC dude. The average PC dude can't even do what the PS5 does. So what would we be? What technical specs would we be chasing? What are we trying? What you want ray tracing in everything? That's the only other thing they could possibly do. Or higher resolution. I have an 8K TV, and trust me, I don't care about gaming in 8K. I want solid performance in 4K. I want you to give me these effects. But what numbers, honestly, would they be chasing? This has faster RAM than PCs. It has an architecture built faster than PCs. PCs don't even have, what is that thing called? Quick resume. Come on, what features of hustle? What are we doing here?
Hey.
People want a Pro, and a lot of people ain't got an X. They ain't got a PlayStation 5. Some people ain't got S's. Listen, what numbers are we chasing for everybody to say, we need a refresh? You didn't hardly refresh with the PlayStation 4 Pro or the Xbox One X. Only the elite dudes did that.
And
who is this for?
I did want to say this too in reference to a lot of PC gamers. I got my rig is strong enough to go 4K. I often game at 1440p, and we're not gonna go according to that Steam survey to where it say, hey, they give you like a stat that says post your rig or something. A lot of them post that. A lot of them gaming at 1080p still. So
no doubt.
Yeah,
but you know how they tell. They could tell what resolution you playing at through the Steam software.
Yeah.
That's how they report it. But I'm saying, like, hustle. Listen, I got a monster PC. I was getting my PC before I upgraded. I was playing The Witcher in 4K in 2015. In 2015. So I'm saying, if people are asking for a Pro, right? Which I don't see why. What feature do you think or ability we really chasing here at this point? These consoles are ahead. They're not behind. Xbox One was definitely behind. PS4 did 1080p gaming, but not with all the bells and whistles shines. You know what I'm saying? There was limitations. So I could see in that generation, okay, we see what the Xbox One X did. It was a huge graphical difference compared to the Xbox One console, right?
Mm-hmm.
The PlayStation 4 Pro outperformed the regular vanilla PlayStation. What would we be getting in a Pro in any one of these editions that would matter? There's nothing I could say that, they're lacking this, they're lacking that. They ain't lacking anything. Technically, we got 16 gigs of RAM. What does dudes on PC got? 16 gigs of RAM.
That's what I got. I still got 16 gigs DDR4 on my, and I ain't about to upgrade.
Ain't no need. So when you hear these people who claim to be, because I'm an elitist, I want the best of everything. I'm not buying it. You didn't even take advantage of what we got. I don't want to hear that Series X Plus or whatever they would call it. I'm not buying that. Come on, man. I just gave y'all $1,000 for 2 systems with no games.
Oh man.
Nah.
Well, I'll say this in terms of
I like hardware too, baby. No.
I mean it's cool. Like I just want more people to have it available to them. But we was talking about how games visually look. We can't talk about performance because somebody in the chat had mentioned that a lot of people, if you don't have like a C1, right, or if you don't have a high refresh rate like OLED or even TV at this point, a lot of people, maybe people game on monitors, but do a lot of people have the 4K? What monitor is this? Is Asus ROG Strix?
Let me ask you
with 2.1 on it, because I don't got that. I got the joint with 2.0.
How much is that TV with no other TV? How much is that monitor with no TV features? That's OLED high end money, right?
The new 32-inch joint, that's on like $3,000. I spent $2,000 on my joint.
See. So
never again.
Who chasing what?
Never again, dog.
I told dudes in the podcast in 2019, right? I said when these consoles drop, early 2020. I said when these consoles drop, you keep talking about TVs and all. I said once these consoles drop and they do what they say they're gonna do, now you're gonna see what a high-end dude is paying to play at them resolutions, because nobody wants to spend $3,000 for a 27 or 32-inch TV. Excuse me, monitor.
Yeah.
Monitor.
They don't adjust it all.
To take advantage of these consoles. Yeah. So listen. Like I said, I don't know what we think we will be chasing, but I'm not buying it. I'm sorry. You would have to. Nah, I don't know. Nah, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
Look, I personally feel like, because I play a lot of my games on monitors, I don't play them on TVs. I do feel like, look, was there some performance differences between the Xbox One and the Xbox One X? Yes. Was there performance differences between the PS4 and the PS4 Pro? Yes. But I feel like that whole model doesn't make sense. You buy a new system because you like subconsciously want to see drastic differences. And I feel like there was some games that had a good difference, but I don't feel like there was enough games, all of them, to justify that purchase. I feel like you bought it because you didn't want the performance to be lacking when you're playing like multiplayer games, when you're playing, FPS models and different. But I don't feel like there was enough drastic difference to justify that kind of price point, the upgrading in general, the confusion when you get these. Not to mention some games had them, some games didn't. I don't feel like it works because you're never going to have a scenario where they're going to have a game that's exclusive to that platform. You're never going to have a developer taking full advantage of any type of hardware that's above the Xbox Series systems and above the PS5s. I feel like we need to be vocal about this because I think PlayStation and Xbox are doing it because they know people are going to buy it. And until, like, you always have, like, this middle central. Developers won't go too much because they know this side can't run it. And they won't go too high because they know that it's pointless because the install base is too low. So they're always going to have like a middle ground where it's like a performance mode, a quality mode. But the problem is we already get that now. Performance mode, quality mode. So I feel like all you're doing is just confusing the market even more. Now, at that point, you're midway through the generation, just instead of having a 10-year generation, just start the next generation 2 years after that. So you have like 6 to 8 year generations instead of a 10-year generation. I would prefer, what they say, 2024, 2025 is this mid-generation they assume is going to come out. Just have the next generation start 2026, 2027.
Right.
Like, instead of waiting till like 2030. Because all that does is extend the generation for lackluster performance that you would expect that next gen hardware to do. Because it's not doing anything. All it's really doing is letting these companies promote these slogans that don't really make sense. 4K. It's not 4K though, is it? Most of these games back then was like an upscale version of that, besides like, Red Dead Redemption. And for the most part, you're letting these people chase these phrases that make no sense. 120 frames, but it's only with like 8 games. Like, it's just like, look, let's max out these systems first. Let's let's first off, if you're making these the PlayStation 5 Pro and the Xbox Series, whatever they're going to name that, you're doing that in the past couple years because it takes research and development to do that. So you have subconsciously not given these developers enough time to even utilize these, because by the time you start to see those first set of games coming out for the Xbox Series X and the Xbox PS5, they're already being given another dev kit. Okay, we know you just did this. Here's the new dev kits for the new systems. Here's the new dev kit for the PS5. Okay, but we literally just made one game off of this. Don't matter. Make it off of that. And then you're going to have scenarios where people, okay, what's the point in having this game, this new updated hardware, when we can't take advantage of it? Oh, we'll take advantage of the next hardware systems. Then why didn't you just wait for them? It's just like, I just think that we're at a slippery slope. Last gen made a little bit of sense because they already came out kind of underpowered. The PS4 and Xbox One. They were under where they should have been. But I don't feel like that's the case this selection. So what are you saying, Hustle? What do you say on this?
Well, let me respond to Fear of the Flesh in the chat. He said, bro, he thinks he's visually impaired because he can't tell the difference between 60 frames and 120 frames. I know you're joking around, but yeah, you can definitely tell that difference. And if you play something at 120 frames, like I was doing with Gears 4 at the time, and going back to 60 frames, it will feel sluggish. I know you're joking around, but I was going to respond to you that in the chat.
Now he has a point though. It's like sometimes it's you can't see it, but you can feel it.
You can feel it. Yeah, you can feel it.
Like I've played Gears also and Halo. I played Halo in 60 frames because I was streaming, so I plugged it up to my capture card, of course. Mm-hmm. And I said, damn, I don't want to play 60 no more. I don't want to play 60 no more.
It's a thing. Not for nothing. I played Gears 2 Anniversary Collection at 400 frames. Like, no, not 400. Oh, it wasn't that high. It was at like 230, but it was at like 720p. I think I was just messing around one night, just messing around. Yeah, no, it's super smooth. It's super smooth. You can see that. But Attic, as far as what I think about all this, man, I mean, like I said, I think consoles will extend into the 2030 range. I honestly don't even think they're in competition. Well, Xbox and PlayStation and Nintendo, for that matter, are in competition. Well, Nintendo, they doing their own thing. But the other big two are in competition with one another. And they're competing with PC. They're really competing with PC, if we're being real. The reason why you see the high frame rates in the first place is because everybody was going to PC like myself. I'm a proud PC gamer since 2017, I do believe, sometime around October, I think, when I got my 1080
I agree with you on that, but at the same time, if you're trying to compete with PC, you're literally you're in an unwinnable race. You're never going to catch up to people. And the moment you start to see their back, because you release the Xbox Series X, the PS5, oh, we about to grab their shirt. They release their next things, and it's like they done did the 100-mile sprint in 15 seconds. Oh, they gone. Well, damn, we were so close.
Well, listen, the elitists, like I have a high-end PC. Hustle has a high-end PC. You got
somewhat.
A 1080.
Hold on, not no more 2080 Ti, but not no more. Not no more.
I think I got a.
Listen, I still got a 1080 Ti because I can't get my 3080 Ti now.
I think I got a 30. Okay.
I'm not gonna let them price gouge me.
I think I got a 30. I think I got a 3060 Ti. I don't know if that's any good. But
it's like when you run a check on your PC to see your performance. I was in the top 2% on the planet. That's not a lot. That's not a lot of people though. Yeah, that's a little bit of people. So who are they chasing on PC too?
Hey, you got me, man. But
that's why we got dudes that can have a conversation.
It's just and you know what the crazy part is? 108. Nintendo be making games that are socially acceptable They review extremely well. They sell extremely well, and you can run it on a potato.
Yeah, that's a fact.
So it's just like Nintendo literally comes out. They say, "Oh, that's cute. You guys invested all this research and development, all this time into this hardware that you released it for maybe 2 to 3 years. Oh, we just released the same damn Pokemon for the 18th time, and we sold more than all your exclusives combined. You played yourself, Sony and Microsoft. Like,
but don't forget, Nintendo used to play that power game too.
But they realized they couldn't win.
So they stopped because
They stopped
N64
and I
was
think that's
way more powerful than everything, and so is the GameCube, especially the silver the Panasonic edition I had from Japan. That thing was a beast.
Hey man, come on, man.
I think that's the issue, though.
How you get that, sir? Like,
But
hold on.
I live in New York, brother.
Hey man,
We had a huge import scene.
I see.
Me, David, and Cog and Sov, we all shopped at the same stores.
Hey, real quick, Addict.
In New York.
For those of you,
Oh, people keep asking about my shirt. Is this shirt? I don't know why.
look cool.
Jiu-Jitsu.
I do want to say this about that Panasonic, because I'm a retro cat, for real. That Panasonic GameCube, for those of you all who don't know, was extremely rare, and I think they only made it in Japan. That's
no,
why
it was only in Japan. You had to get an import.
You had to get it.
Yeah, I had that one.
That's lit. To see, if I get that joint, I'm gonna mod that joint. Put the HDMI.
It's in a box somewhere in my basement, though. I still have it.
That joint gonna be worth some bread. You know that. But it's that's the big thing. I had a point that I was gonna make. Oh no, about PC gaming. Also with the TCL thing that happened today, they also released the new AMD card. And as y'all know, AMD has been working with Xbox and PlayStation. So yeah, console will never win that war, but they'll try their best for the enthusiasts. So it is what it is. Yeah, what it is.
Yeah, it's like I said, man. At the end of the day, I feel like they should be focusing a lot of their focus on the games, like both of them. Like regardless,
new hardware, man.
Sony makes very, very successful games, but they still have a shit first-party shooter market. Like it's non-existent, and
What
people
market?
always say
First person.
First person.
What? Sony first person? Who? What?
Hey, they got Bungie over there now. We can't do that. Y'all can't do that, man.
Well, look, we could do it because they got 20 years in, right on. Yeah, 20-some years. Yeah, we could do
Well,
that.
I mean, do they though?
Because gone.
Do they though? Because those games are going to come out and they're going to be multi-plat for the most part.
That's right.
So it's just like, maybe they bought them because they want to have a little bit more of an advantage when it comes to that kind of game. Because I do think Sony, they see the multiplayer market and they see the money they can make off of it. Like, I'm willing to bet you Sea of Thieves probably made more money than something like God of War because of
course it did.
Because of microtransactions.
Fortnite is free. Who's making more money than them? I got over $460 worth of characters. I counted it the other day. I said, this is crazy.
Jesus.
Yeah, I buy I'm a movie dude, so you put in the Avengers, Batman, and I just bought RoboCop the other day. Some of the people I missed, I got that. They put Thanos back in the stock. Listen, over $460.
And what people don't realize that, God of War made a lot of money. It did. But when you have a game that comes out that you can realistically sell to one person one time with no microtransactions, and I'm not co-signing microtransactions. It's dog shit. But at the end of the day, we in this industry, that's how it is now. There's nothing we could do about that.
Right.
But when you have something like, I do think that these microtransactions aren't intrusive. It's just like, look, if you want to look fly while you're selling, then you're going to have to pay that fly money. But God of War, they have to, like, people think that they just make that whole $60, $70. They don't. They split of retailers. They sell it to GameStop.
That's right.
They split it to people. They split a percentage of that to their whatever, shipping manufacturers they use. They make the most money off something like, if they sell it digitally. They make that full most of it for the most part. But we can't act like God of War with that 20 plus million. We can't act like they made all that either. For the most part, some of that was bundled. Some of that was on sale for $5 to $10. They don't make all of that strictly profit. Sea of Thieves, they do an event, they probably make mad money. Every time they do anything. Minecraft has made more money than probably all of PlayStation. So it is what it is. We got a $5 super chat from G4 Games with Quarters. Love these guys, man. TCL baby, buy your PlayStation 5 Gen refresh with your 1080p TCL. TCL equals LCT. Lemon cosigns this. What is that about?
Yo.
I'm kind of curious what that's about.
I ain't co-signing nothing. He's clowning.
But the super chat says you co-sign, so you co-sign.
No, listen. That's clowns is clowning. You know, I ain't putting no T. My daughter don't even have a TCL. We ain't doing that in here. We don't do those.
Wait, I do have a question before you read that next super chat, Addict. Hey, I saw him in the chat earlier. He said, "What up, Hustle? What up, Addict? What up, Lemon?" Was backstory on that, or was it?
That's my nickname.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. I didn't know.
Only Addict calls me 108.
Okay. I'm gonna start
that's
calling
what
you
you come in at. They're like, okay, Lemon.
Lemon down there.
Okay, Lemon.
My whole family calls me Lemon.
Okay, hold on. Lemon. What does your name say in this call? 108 Dragon TV.
I'm not mad at you.
You said only Addict calls you. If you're gonna, well, here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. If you're gonna come to the Zoom meeting, it literally asks you what you want to be called, and you put 108 Dragon. I'm not gonna disrespect. Here's the thing, like the reason that I didn't really call you Lemon too much is because you put that in there, and I don't know if you want people calling you that. So that's why I called you 108.
Let me explain. Let me explain my name real quick. When I was little, when my mom's passed, right? My family been calling me Lemon all my life. My daughter thought that was my real name. On an open school night. Yeah, she thought that was my real name. But my mom's, when she had me, the doctor, you know how they pull you out, they spank you, make you cry, you know, get the juices flowing. So she said I kept balling up, and my mom's is Puerto Rican. She's like, he's balling up like a little limon. So I went from little lemon to 6'5" big lemon. I mean, hey, but that's where it comes from. So I really just keep my name. Even on my job, that's what they call me. That's all it is.
What's funny is I've had like several names growing up. There's this chick that me and my cousin Storm knew, and like when we went to like this kind of like community center that you'd play basketball. She called me Applejacks. I don't know why. People for the longest time would take my initials, which was AJ, and they would run with it. Call me all kinds of stuff with A and J. Applejacks. You know,
you don't know why she called you that?
Well, no, it's AJ Applejacks. Like they would just find random stuff, and that stuck for a little bit. Then I went by Room to Kill. That was my gamer tag for a long time until Cognito convinced me to change it to Lord Addict with these weird ass numbers because of this new system that Microsoft has.
I know. That looks
you know what's
crazy?
I tried to take Gaming Addict, didn't work. Someone had it with like 100 gamer score. It's one of those people, I guarantee you, that wanted to play Call of Duty or Halo back in the 2000s, the early 2000s, that did it just for that free month of Xbox Live. And now I can't be the people I want to be. And you got to have these weird ass numbers beside my name because it's some dude that wanted to get a whole year. Oh my God, man! Just talking. You know what's funny? Let me move my mic a little bit. You know what's funny?
Uh-oh.
If someone in the chat that did that to me, that I have these numbers in my name because of you. If you are in that chat, I'ma say this: I hate you. Because I'll be sitting there and I'll be no. Let me finish. I'll be sitting there and I'll be doing good, man. I'll be like, oh, great day. Then I see them damn numbers. And I'm looking at those numbers and I'm like, really? Why are those numbers there? I can understand if those numbers there in like the tech-wise, the server-wise, Microsoft. Why am I in a party with Lord Addict 5278 or whatever the hell those numbers are? Why? Why can't people see that, Microsoft? Why can't you get rid of that? Why do people have to see that? When I'm in a Discord call with people, they don't see those numbers. What's up with that? Microsoft? They don't see those numbers. How you going to steal someone's ideal by putting numbers and giving you people more opportunities to make gamer tags, which I love it. For the longest time, if you wanted to make a gamer tag, you couldn't really do nothing. But how you going to take half the ideal, Microsoft? How you going to take half the ideal? When I join a Discord voice call, they don't see those numbers. You know what they see? They see Gaming Addicts. They don't see Gaming Addict 4289. They see Gaming Addict. They don't see none of that. So why can't I join a party on Xbox Live, Microsoft, and it says Lord Addict, and that's all? Rant done.
I do got a question. And I see they spamming the lemons in the chat. I got a question about that.
Shout out to y'all.
Yeah,
lemons go good with everything: drinks, seafood, everything.
Oh, well.
It's even good when you sick.
Oh, indeed. Like I learned it from Luca like a long time ago to be like, hey, you got to make sure your name is the same everywhere. See, I see Mike Lowry. See, when I see Mike Lowry in the chat, I know who he is on Twitter, right? I saw Ella in here, so my homegirl Ella in here. A wildly Ella rather. I know who that is everywhere I go. Nah, it's just the thing, Addict. I mean, hey, wait, I was going to ask you. Ain't no way, well, I guess you wouldn't change your name, but do you think there's any way, if you did change your name, could you add like space bars or like underscore? Because I had to do that with my YouTube name. I put Hustle and Motivate in there, and I think somebody took it, but I think I put like a space bar or something crazy like that. So you can see my whole name and all that. Is there any way that you can do that type of thing without losing your game score and all that? Or like,
what are you talking about?
Well, I don't know.
Like, you know how, okay, so you can, on YouTube, for instance, like when you change your name, when you set everything up, you don't particularly have to go by your name. I go by Hustle and Motivate in the thing because what I did in the Google settings or whatever I did it with, I put Hustle and Motivate on the first line, and then I put a space bar on the second line.
God.
Yeah, I saw that too.
You're clowns. I'm gonna roast you tomorrow. I'm
you
gonna roast you on the show tomorrow.
You can do it now.
No. He on fire. I'm gonna let him rock. I'm gonna let him get the audience.
Clowns, he came in there and he said, "I'm gonna let you live today, but tomorrow."
I'm gonna let you live the day, but tomorrow.
You know, Clowns, that's even worse for you. You know why I say that's worse for you, Clowns? Because this man said, "I ain't gonna go off the top of my head. I'm gonna go in the workshop. I'm a premature." Yes. You know, people, you get, when you do that and you commit homicide, that's first degree murder. He's saying he gonna first degree your ass. He gonna go home and he gonna think about what he gonna say to you. So I would be scared, Clown. I would, you know what I would do if I was you, Clown? I would go ahead and call in tomorrow. You don't need to be there. Let him do that stuff on you. You don't need to be there. That's the ultimate thing you can do, Clown, is you can tell him you gonna go there and you gonna talk and you gonna write down this script, but I ain't gonna be there to hear it. Okay, so we got a $2 super chat for Clowns. Lemon go good with pineapple too. What is that about?
I've never tried that.
You see, my man Clowns, shout out to 4GQ TV in the building. My man Clowns is Italian, right? Him, Cerebral Paul, several other guys we podcast with that we all have conversations with. So I told them, when me and my daughter order Domino's, we get half pineapples. They say pineapples don't go on pizza?
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does.
Yes, yeah, it does. They don't know what they're talking
because
about.
they hardcore Italian men. We don't eat that. I said, well, when you bring your food to America, we switch it up. So French don't make French fries, but we call them French fries. So it is what it is. We take it, we put our spin on it. Listen, it is what it is. In my neighborhood, we go to our pizza shops. All of them got brown mustard. If you have a pizza shop in Brownsville in Brooklyn and you don't have brown mustard, nobody's gonna come in your pizza shop because that's what we put on our pizzas. Brown mustard.
Oh God. Okay.
Like,
You lost
listen,
that one now.
real light. Trust me. Try it.
All right.
Real light. I ain't say douse it. Not yellow mustard. Got to be the spicy mustard. Just put
I do want to say this. Hey, Eddie, can you make a poll? Can you make a poll in the chat? Can we see if pizza goes on pizza and that? Can we make that poll in the chat?
Man, I'll do it, Hustle. I do it just because you asked. But damn well this is about to start some beef in the chat, man. You know damn well this is about to start some beef in the chat.
Pineapple Wars. Iron Little Podcast Plus edition.
Does pineapples go on pizza? Does pineapples belong on pizza?
Listen, if you've never had it, I feel like you're doing yourself a disservice. You definitely are, man. Like, but the pineapples
good as hell.
The pineapples got to hit right though. You can't just be having no dry ass pineapples in your joint. Like it gotta be right. It gotta be right. It definitely gotta be.
Oh damn, Clown's gonna get pissed off.
I'm just saying, man, and and I know that Addict. I know you're from a different part of the world. Lemon. So I'm gonna call you Lemon. Look, I know you up there in New York.
Yeah.
But if y'all have y'all ever had mumbo sauce before? And I know, like, because one
The hell is mumbo sauce?
What is that?
Okay, if I'm ever around y'all, and I got a feeling I will be, I'll make sure I bring some mumbo sauce with it. It's kind of like sweet and sour sauce, but way better. It's like it's a DC made thing. It's kind of like we made our own genre of music in Go-Go. We made our own sweet and sour sauce.
Where you at, DC?
Yeah, well, I'm in Maryland, yes, but the DMV,
yeah. I know. As soon as you said Go-Go, I already knew what it is.
Yeah, that's
Howard University parties. Let's go.
The homecoming. but if you really, was about it, you went to the black hole, and if you had to. Never mind. No, that's the conversation after the podcast.
Oh my gosh. All right, let's move on. We got that poll in the chat on Hustle's request.
Thank you.
Speaking all that nonsense. So so there was some rumors going around that not necessarily rumors. I think it's pretty much confirmed at this point that Microsoft in 2014 had the opportunity to get themselves some type of Marvel IP from actual Marvel themselves. I read into the actual the articles that was flowing around. It looks like it came from someone that used to be at Marvel or is currently at Marvel. And what happened is he got tired of the current relationship that they had with Activision. So they were looking for a new home for their products. And it looks like they did go to the console manufacturers. And I would assume that's how you got Marvel versus Alliance 3 on the Switch. Because that seemed about the same time that, that would have happened. So I would assume that's how the Nintendo got that relationship going. Clearly Sony requested Spider-Man and they made it Insomniac. But then when they went to Xbox, they said, yo, we good fam. Take your paw and go home. It looks like It looks like Microsoft. They said that, for his recollection, which I think it's interesting that he worded it that way, that he thinks that's what they said, that they said they were working on their own IPs. And then keep in mind, this is back before Civil War happened, before Spider-Man was put in the MCU. Also keep in mind that Microsoft, Spider-Man was doing good in like the comic book world and the movie world to a point, but I won't say it was doing that great game-wise. I would say that Activision probably made one good Spider-Man game, the rest average. And, what we're going to talk about is, do you think that Microsoft made the right choice back then? Because clearly we could talk in hindsight all we want and say they made the wrong choice, but you got to put yourself in a Microsoft 2014 scenario. This is right around the corner that they had the bad launch of the Xbox One. This is around the time I would say that Microsoft was shopping around to people theoretically buying Xbox. So we're going to start with 108. Like, first off, what was your mindset when you first saw this? That, we talk a lot about Microsoft, needing their own comic book hero. And it looks like at one point in time, they could have had it and they didn't. And then, the second part of that question is, do you think back then it was the right choice? Let me get this super chat real quick because I don't know what you guys have started in this chat. We got to Jumbo Sensei. Mambo sauce is a DMV area staple. DC, right. Maryland, Virginia. All right, so I don't know what Mambo sauce is. I guess you got some dude in his basement making it in that area because I've never heard of it.
No, it's not a guy in a basement. No, if you know what? Thank you for your super chat. It's the most gangster super chat that I've seen today. So I really appreciate that super chat. And yes, Mambo sauce is really good. Let's go ahead and get back on topic. 108, would you like to take it away, sir?
Listen, I think they made a smart decision. And I'm going to tell you why. Because where it ended up in the hands of Insomniac making that great game, I'm not mad that Microsoft didn't bite. Because who was they going to get to make it back then?
I respect they really that.
Have the studios to make that game? That game is great.
Let me interrupt you real quick. I respect what you just said because that said, Microsoft definitely needed a comic book hero. But because they did that, we got something as amazing as Spider-Man. Theoretically, you could say that was going to happen regardless. We don't know if they offered Microsoft at first. But what I like about that is it said Microsoft denied it now. Maybe they'll get it. Microsoft delayed it then, but maybe they'll get it now. But because they denied it then, there is a domino effect in an alternative world, a Marvel universe world, where they accept that it's average as hell because they didn't realistically have a studio to make that game, or they would outsource it, and it made comic book games worse. Because of something like Insomniac, I would say Batman kind of started that trend where to show how you can make good comic book heroes, but I would say Spider-Man elevated that more mainstream, and because of that, you're having stuff like Wolverine being made. It's arguably saying Guardians of the Galaxy may never have been made without that comic book interest that Sony and Rocksteady and Warner Brothers started. Continue, 108.
So, that was pretty much it, Addict. And what was the second part of your question again?
It was just saying, what was your mindset when you heard that? Like, when you first heard that they could have got
Listen, when there's many things they pass upon as any major corporation does that we don't know about, but listen, man, it's a business. Everything that come across their plate, they don't eat. They got, and sometimes, like I said, with this situation, Insomniac landed Spider-Man with Sony. And look at what we got. So with that, we don't know what we would have had. You can't say, well, they could have made an amazing game. And I'm realistic. They didn't have the dev teams. Look what happened with Crackdown. That got passed around how many times?
The sad part is Crackdown could have been a good game. That's a different conversation.
Yes, and I don't think it was bad. I just think it could have been way better. And I'm a Crackdown series dude, and I was the only one playing the multiplayer by myself. It was not good.
So what do you think, Hustle? What do you think, man?
I agree with 108 Dragons. I'll get into that, but I want to play devil's advocate on that too. All right, so Microsoft not getting that, or Xbox not getting a Spider-Man title, cool. Because they really, the only dev team, in my opinion, who they could have given that to anyway, it would have been the Coalition. And the Coalition had, as we know, had the Xbox on their back the last generation with Gears 4, Gears 5, Gears Tactics, right? They had them on the back. Say, y'all, come on, we got y'all. So they backpacked through the whole way through. It's kind of like a hip-hop reference, right? So typically, like Lupe Fiasco, he has a song called Beautiful Girls. I forget who that song went to first, but that song went to somebody else first. And like what the label would do, the label would be like, the label did kind of what like Marvel was doing, right? It's like, hey, we about to give you this thing, go make a hit. You don't get the Bruno Mars, Lupe Fiasco song, Beautiful Girls All Over the World, da-da-da-da. You don't get all that. Or I said Bruno Mars. It's a B.O.B. and B.O.B. and Bruno Mars, I do believe. Anyway, y'all know who made that record. You don't get that record from a Royce da 5'9" and Genuine. I'm just naming two different artists, right? You don't get that song. Like, you don't get like Nelly Furtado's Loose album with the production of Timbaland from A. Marie. I'm putting those examples out there because it's two different people, two different teams. You know what I mean? Like, things are different.
There's a big prime example, Hustle. What about Snoop turning down that In the Club beat and gave it to 50?
What, D12? I think D12. I think you got that with D12.
No, and it was D12 too. They passed it along the lines.
Yep, they passed that joint up, and
took it, and look what happened.
50 said, he said, "Oh yeah,
oh yeah."
He said,
"I got this."
He said, "Watch what I do with it," and then and the rest is history. But again, so that's a very real thing. But I do want to play devil's advocate, man. I want to disagree for the sake of disagreeing. I'm allowed. If Microsoft, listen, I'm only gonna say it's an L on Microsoft part because Spider-Man, if it is Spider-Man, right? They Activision had a really good run with them. Some good, some bad, but like I think toward the end it was like really good. And shout out to Mr. Matic Plays because he got a video up on that too. But if you're me, and like Microsoft at that time, they don't really have regardless of like, because you could tell what the landscape was with the comic book movies and all that back in 2014. So you can kind of tell where things were going. Nobody thought that they would balloon, the Marvel Universe would balloon as high. However, if you kind of could tell a little bit, to be like, let's try it. I mean, you get them to try it. Like, granted, maybe Insomniac doesn't make it. Maybe, but again, right, you put, 343 would have filed, 343. The Coalition would have filed a class action lawsuit against them, putting them boys and girls to work over there so hard. But I would have had the Coalition make that. I would have definitely had, and then, hindsight is obviously 2020. Yeah, forget all that. Or, like, for real, since turn 10, aren't they making, is it turn? No, it's Playground. Isn't it Playground who's making games. Fable? Yeah, they're making Fable, right?
Yes.
You could have gave that to them for all that. But I mean, I don't know.
They didn't have them then. They didn't purchase them then.
But then they always have like a tight relationship.
They always had a tight relationship.
To be fair, Sony didn't have Insomniac
Oh yeah,
at
no
that time
doubt,
either.
no doubt,
So.
no doubt. I'm just looking at the ending program, but that's 100%,
And
correct too.
If
But
you think about it, that's around the time where Sunset Overdrive launched. So Microsoft would have, maybe theoretically had a better relationship with Insomniac at that time, because that's the time where they just they funded a game, didn't own the IP, didn't ask for it. One would think that unless there was some kind of bad blood from Sunset Overdrive, that they would have been more open to doing it with Microsoft than Sony would have. It is what it is. I don't really have too much to say when it comes to this. And we do have a second part of the question. But, when it comes to this particular one, I think there's multiple factors that play in it. I think one of the factors is, let me say, who gonna make it? At that time, they didn't really have it. Now, you could say that they could order out, get a second party studio to make it, like Insomniac. I feel like it's different for Sony to do it, because Sony, sure, they were making Sunset Overdrive for Microsoft, but I don't think that defeats making Ratchet and Clank and all the games that Insomniac made for Sony for all those years. So I think that, it is what it is. That now, in hindsight, they took the L. But at that time, like I said, Spider-Man still isn't in the MCU technically. He has been introduced. They came off of average at best Spider-Man games from Activision, so I could see from a logistics standpoint, Microsoft's looking at it, okay, do we really need this? And then you got, elephant in the room. Microsoft didn't know if they wanted to keep the Xbox brand at that time anyway. So why would you make investments to that degree with a brand you are uncertain of and you don't know what you're going to do with? So I do think that is acceptable. Maybe Microsoft should have been a little bit more faith in their own studios, but I can understand why they went that direction. But this
Let me ask you a question, Addy. Let me ask you a question real quick before you move on. We got a game that sold 10 million copies from Xbox. And we can't
Halo
get a
5?
sequel. No. Killer Instinct. And we couldn't even get a sequel with that because they don't got enough development teams, because Iron Galaxy was off doing something else.
And that's all I've always said.
You can't even make your own games. You gonna take on another one?
And that's why I've always been very firm that they should buy NetherRealm. They should have a first-party studio. Because Microsoft got burnt so many times with the Rise Son of Rome's. Maybe not so much Sunset Overdrive, because I don't think they were ever going to fund that game. Sequel to that, they got burnt by a few studios. They funded pretty much 2 generations of Dead Rising games. Where did that get them in the long run? They funded Quantum Break. Where did that get them in the long run? They funded Rise Son of Rome. Where did that get them in the long run? Recourse, sure, they own the IP to that, but they don't own the studio. Where did that get them in the long run? So I feel like Microsoft now, I feel they have the better approach. We're never going to really rely on second-party people to make our games ever again. We're going to use global publishing, let them go out there and, there's different things that global publishing is doing. One, they're putting money into ecosystems of developers and stuff that they don't own. They're giving more of a diversity of a portfolio on the Xbox and Gamepass. And what people don't really realize about that team as well is they're scouting talent as well.
Yes.
When they're going out there funding these games, funding these IPs, that's what ID at Xbox is doing too. They're seeing in the future, when we start looking for other studios to purchase, okay, this studio might be something we need to look at in the future. And I think, you're seeing that, and I think that's the right move. But this next one, Maddie Play, shout out to the Defining Duke. That's the host of Defining Duke that COG does. He said that he heard that they also had the opportunity to make KOTOR, the remake that's going on over there at Sony as the exclusive, that they have the opportunity to make that an exclusive on their platform. And they turned that down.
Yeah, I heard about that too.
If that's true, and I believe Maddie, but if that's true, straight L. Straight up L. Because there's no realm of possibility where it makes me think that you couldn't have found a developer for that because you got damn near over studios that do that type of game.
That's
There
right.
is no amount of work that make me think that could not have worked for them. That not to mention, that's a Star Wars title. That's a very big thing going on right now because Disney's making all that stuff pop. But
wait till Friday.
They're remaking a game. They're remaking a game that popped on they stuff. And they said, we good. Go give that to someone else. And because they said no, it shows up and now it's making PlayStation's lineup look better. That's an L. I'm sorry. That's an L. That's one of the biggest L's I think I've seen from them in a long time. So where do you feel about that, Hustle?
Well, that I didn't know. So when you just hit me well for that information just now, I had no idea. And I know Maddie wouldn't know because the boys coach so crazy out there. Yeah, that's something that is kind of strange that they passed on that. I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, who makes those decisions over there? Man, I'm not talking about I'm talking about this most recent decision. Because Star Wars, for better or for worse, even though I'm not no Star Wars cat, I understand how hot that franchise is right now. I understand that you got people watching The Mandalorian, Boba Fett, et cetera, et cetera.
Yes.
I understand how hot that franchise is. So if I had the opportunity, and KOTOR, like, I do remember that being on the OG Xbox. I never played it, but I do remember people going.
Yeah, it was on the OG Xbox.
Yep, and I remember working at GameStop, and people were still.
The sequel was on it too, Knights of the Republic 2. Like,
yep.
I think for the legacy purposes, you kind of snatched out to like where everything begins again or something. You whatever tagline.
It's not even legacy too. Like perception wise, that looks bad. That looks.
But
really
you bring
bad.
back Phantom Dust. Who asked for that?
I mean, what's that other game? The
Come on.
There's a few games they brought back that we're scratching our head, but something like that they don't approve. Like, and you know what's crazy? Sony eventually, I have a feeling, in the next 5 years, we're going to see a Sunset Overdrive 2 announcement. And Sony is the kind of person to approve that kind of game and fund that kind of game just for perception wise. Oh, you know what? You had the prequel on your stuff. We're going to take the sequel. And Sony the kind of person to put all the money and all the marketing in that just to say our shit was popping, yours wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
And it is what it is, man, because at the end of the day, I feel like that would have been a good art. Now, sure, do they need to know? They got Avowed, they got Elder Scrolls 6. Elder Scrolls 6 is worth 10 of them. But at the same time, that looks bad, man. You put that game on the map, and when the remake was being up there, you said no to it. Now, sure, maybe the studio was already making the game and they were shopping around for exclusivity thing, and maybe Microsoft saw the game and said, that ain't it. We ain't doing that. That's not it. But we don't know. We ain't seen no gameplay on the game yet. So I'm curious to exactly, what that is. I just find it very crazy that something to that caliber, something that is beloved like Knights of the Old Republic, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, Microsoft said that's not it. We're not doing that. And it's just like, but you approve stuff like Sunset Overdrive. Sure, I got no issue with the game, and I felt like it was a good game for the diversity of the platform at that time. But you approved that, but you're telling these people no. Like, it's just like, I just don't get it. And right now, I feel like Microsoft is so tunnel focused on, we got to make sure our stuff's good. We got to make sure our stuff does this. We got to make sure our stuff does that. Our IP's this, our IP's that. And they're like, how you let KOTOR go? Like, sometimes they got to do a better job at seeing what our houses are doing, but having our eyes looking everywhere else. Oh, that looks good. Here, come here, man. Someone get the train ticket. Yeah, get them over here. Like, no, plane ticket. Okay, it doesn't matter. Get them over here. It's like they're just looking at what they're doing, and they're letting Sony snatch everything around them. I mean, we don't get Final Fantasy VII Remake, Final Fantasy 16 for Spoken. There's so much that's going to the competition, and it's like Microsoft's not even looking at third-party stuff. Sometimes, if you don't want to pay that exclusivity deal to make it exclusive to yours, you need to at least come in the middle and pay that that's not going over their exclusive money.
Yeah, facts.
But then I guess that would open up a hole maybe you don't want happening, because then you're gonna have all these people. It's like, if we withhold the game for Microsoft, they're gonna pay us money, and then before you know it, that's kind of blackmailing. We're not putting the game on your platform. It's not from an exclusivity deal. It's because we know you're going to come and give us money to put it on your platform. And I honestly think that's what's happening in some of these Japanese games. I think they know that Game Pass check nice, and they waiting for that Game Pass check. And unless Microsoft gives them that Game Pass check, they're not coming like that. So, that's pretty much it, man. One away, man. Lemon, appreciate you coming on. What are you going to be doing in the next couple weeks, man? Tell the people what you're doing.
Well, first, I think we should give Microsoft some props and a round of applause for something that nobody's really talking about that happened this week at Activision, for them getting a union, the first major video game publisher to have a union.
You know what's kind of crazy?
Things are working out at Activision.
I'm kind of curious that happened because they wanted that to happen, or because they're like, the FTC stupid up on us. We don't want to look any kind of negative whatsoever. Obviously, I'm not taking away from what Microsoft happens, but I'm curious that that's a domino effect because of them taking the advantage of this deal going on, that Microsoft really had no choice but to do it. Even if they wanted to, I'm pretty sure that even if they didn't want to, I'm pretty sure they had to, because of this deal going on. And because they got them at this right time, I'm wondering if that's a domino effect that's going to make units pop up everywhere.
But listen, it's no matter what it is, it's good for the workers at the end of the day. Their work environment will be changed, they will be protected. And that's what matters, because we all know it was a disaster. So it's good to say that. But I got some, as always, I got my podcast on 6 p.m. Saturdays, Eastern Standard Time on my channel, 108 Dragons TV. And I should be dropping a video Friday this week. I got something, I'm trying to wait for it to come in the mail to give y'all a review on it. So we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, man, you check out my content, check out my PAX interviews with the devs. Of course, with my Iron Lord brothers out there, we had a blast. 108 Dragons TV, man, on everything. Follow me on, I guess, Twitter and Instagram. It's 108 Dragons TVs everywhere, baby. That's what it is. Thanks for having me.
I appreciate it. We can get these last couple of super chats real quick, Hustle. Let me make sure. We got a $2 super chat.
I got to get Hustle on, too.
Yeah,
indeed.
From Spartan Ghost 17. What's y'all thoughts on the Guna Young Thug Rice case?
Hold on.
The Rico case.
I gotta block somebody in this chat right quick. Hold on. It's
the Young Thug Rico case.
He's talking about Gunna and Young Thug Rico case. They finna hit Thug with a jersey number. I hope their boy team. Hope his attorneys as strong as linebackers, but there's a lot going on with that.
I hope he got attorneys like Johnny Depp hired for that Amber case.
he might need it. Look, it ain't looking good for him, Addict. I'm gonna keep it true with you. He need about 100 of them right now. Gunna in particular, they trying to hit Gunna with like federal conspiracy RICO. So they're saying that the YSL thing is a gang organization. I'll just say this: Gunna will probably beat his charge because he's just a rapper. They try to make him seem like he's one of the higher ups because of who he is, not because necessarily of what he's done. But Thug, hey, look, man, you had a good run. It might be over for you, homie. That they're trying to get my man 20-year-old. Look, never mind. I'll just say those are my thoughts on that. Just never mind. This is a gaming podcast. This is a gaming podcast. I don't want that.
I don't. Look, I was. Yeah, you're right. That's why I was just like, I saw it. I said, I ain't. No.
Yeah. We appreciate your super chat. We appreciate
rich dudes with rich problems.
We got first world problems. First world problems. We got a $2 super chat from Shroom Kingdom. Microsoft values owning IPs. Reason for studio purchases. I agree with you on that, but I do feel like we need a point where Microsoft needs to value what a studio can do and the talent that works there to make the IPs that they currently have, and not just what the IPs that come with the studio itself. But I appreciate it for coming through. Hustle. What are you going to be doing here lately? Next.
Well, next, well, before I talk about what I'm doing, next, let's talk about what I did before I got here today. I did a 34-ish minute little thing on the whole PS5, Xbox Series X Pro thingies leaked by TCL. So I had fun doing that. This Sunday, more than likely, I should have it done. I'm gonna try to have it done by Friday. But this Sunday, what I plan on doing is having everything that we need to know about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Shredder's Revenge, the game, because there are a lot of information coming out about that. That rollout has been pretty heavy over the last couple of days. So I plan on having that video by hopefully Sunday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Saturday night, I don't know what the hell to call it, but Saturday night, I stream from like 7 to like 7:45-ish. Get you in and get you all like a robbery. A lot of stuff that we cover here today will probably be spoken about Saturday, and I'm just coming up with a couple of topics. But I cover like 2 or 3 topics. Have a good time with the chat. And if y'all haven't done so, go ahead and follow me. I'm on the road to 1,000 subscribers, and I'm at 620 right now. I'm at 620. So just, slowly but surely, brick by brick, and doing my thing. And real quick, I don't know if they're in here, but I want y'all to go support Level 1 tonight, too. I see 200 of y'all in here, man. First of all, hit that like button for us. But go support Level 1. And Attic, if you can give me a second, can I please link their channel?
Yeah,
if you don't mind.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's Barry, right?
That's
I'm sorry?
Fame Entertainment.
Oh, that's Fame. Level 1. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the website. They was
that's lordsofgaming.net.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm talking about Level 1 Gaming.
Oh,
yeah,
no,
that's
a website.
They have a website as well, but I always like push the YouTube stuff because
no doubt.
If they love the podcast stuff here, y'all follow Level 1 here, y'all. Y'all like the podcast stuff here that we do. Fame and Baron and the big homies over there.
Yeah, Baron, that's what I said.
Oh, no, I didn't
and
hear you.
Addict said, no, that was lordsofgaming.net. No, Baron, that's what I'm talking about.
Baron, I thought you said Barry. Yeah.
That's what I thought he said
Barry.
too. Something like, okay, Baron. Yeah. No, that's what Baron, J67 and
right.
I mean the whole squad over there, man. They've always been great to me. So anytime I can
good peoples.
Yep. Fame and the whole squad. So anytime I can be good for them, I'll be good for them. Yeah, but y'all make sure y'all go check them out. In fact, they come on like right before Smooth's podcast. So right before Planet Xbox tonight, y'all make sure y'all check them out and then you check out Planet Xbox. We all get it. We all gonna push for each other out here.
Yeah, and definitely.
And that's it for me.
You can find me on Twitter, obviously, Lord Addict ILP. I'm going to be doing more content on my personal channel. A little bit of streams here and now, a couple times a week because I'm just bored. But I appreciate everyone for coming through, man. We had a fantastic show. Had about 280, 90-ish people in here. Definitely hit that like button if you guys ain't hit it yet. We about to close out of here. I don't know who we're going to have on next week. We are coming up on the Xbox show, so that's going to be interesting. I'm going to look into that. Addict Show won't be reacting. I saw some people saying that. IOP reacts to stuff. The Addict Show don't, but we might have Hustle in there if he got time. But I appreciate it for coming through. We'll see you next week, man. Until next week, we're out of here. Peace.